My name is Marika. Welcome to Junior Journalists TV Singapore.
And I'm Hannah. Today we have author and illustrator Robin Page and Steve Jenkins. When did you start writing books?
I think I was about 30 years old when I started writing books, so in probably 1986. That was a long time ago.
I started writing books about 25 years ago, right after my children were born, my first kids were born.
Do you spend most of your time writing books?
We spend most all of our time either researching books, writing books, or illustrating books. That takes up most of our day, every day.
What is your favorite book that you've made?
My favorite book is probably the animal book. That was the thickest book I'd made. It was kind of hard. So now that it's done, I feel good about it.
And probably my favorite book that we both did was Creature Features, where we kind of interview the animals and ask why they look the way they look.
Do you have any pets? If so, have you ever put them in a book? Why did you write children books instead of adult books?
We do have pets. We have a dog, a big golden retriever, and we have a cat. It's not ours, it's our daughter's cat, but we're taking care of it. And I have put them in books. I did a book about dogs and cats, and I put both the dog and the cat in the book.
What's interesting about that book is it's on one side it's dogs, and on the other side you flip it upside down, it's all about cats, and in the middle they meet. So it's facts about the cats and facts about the dogs, and in the very middle they meet.
So you asked about children's books instead of adult books? I do children's books instead of adult books because I want to be able to make pictures, and most adults don't read picture books, so I make books for children.
Let's see if our studio audience has any questions.
Isabel? Why do you write books about animals?
When I was about your age, even younger, I loved reading about animals and making drawings about animals. And then I stopped doing it for a while when I grew up. But when I started making children's books after my own kids were born, I was just naturally drawn to animals as a subject. I really enjoy making pictures of animals. And I guess you do too.
I do too. And I think a lot of kids are interested in animals, and they kind of, in some ways, we can learn a lot from animals in our environments and how they interact with the environment.
Do you like predator animals more or tame animals?
I was going to live with an animal at my house or in the backyard. I think I'd go for a tame animal. I don't like the snake that shows up in my garden. It scares me every time.
I like predators when I'm putting them in books. I just think they're kind of more interesting than tame animals.
Claire?
What did you want to be when you grew up, when you were our age?
I wanted to be a scientist. My dad was a scientist, and I thought that's what I would be.
And I wanted to be an artist, but I ended up being a designer.
And an artist.
Did you ever write a book that's not about animals? If not, do you have any ideas?
I've done books about time and about geography. I did a book about climbing Mount Everest. So not every single book is about animals, but most of them are. And I probably will do more in the future that aren't. But I think for every book I do that's not about animals, I'll probably do a few that are about animals, just because I still am really interested in animals.
And I'm working on a book right now about seeds and plants. So it's just getting started.
Did you ever regret the choice that you were an author because you had trouble with something?
I think at any point making a book, you get a little frustrated, either with the writing or sometimes the idea that you think the book will be doesn't pan out the way you think it's going to happen. So you have to rethink it. And also with the artwork, a lot of times you have to rework it. It's not exactly like you want it to be. So you have to go back and try it again.
It can be frustrating, but I don't think it's ever so frustrating that I wish I was doing something else.
Do you like writing or illustrating children's books more?
I guess I enjoy the illustration more. I think for me the writing is harder, and it's a little more frustrating. I started out, as an artist, making pictures, and so that part is easier for me, a little more fun.
Any other questions for Mr. Jenkins and Ms. Page?
What kind of advice would you give to kids who want to be an author when they grow up?
I would say read a lot and write a lot. Those two things will make you a better writer. And don't expect to be really good at it right away. You have to write a lot and read a lot.
What kind of scientist would you like to be when you were a kid?
Originally, I wanted to be an oceanographer or a paleontologist. Now, I don't know, I might be interested in robotics. I think that would be a very cool field. What about you? You're a scientist.
I think it would have something to do with plants.
Horticulturist. Botanist.
Well, that's all the time we have. Thank you for answering our questions. We can't wait to read your next one.
Thank you for
Thank
interviewing
you.
us.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thanks for your great questions.
Yeah, those were good questions.